Waheguru Ji ka Khalsa, Suniai Ji ki Fateh, and welcome back. Satnam. With Guru's divine blessing, we now turn to the 9th Pauri of Japji Sahib, in which Guru Nanak Sahib continues to expound upon the virtues of Suniai, deep, attentive listening. In the 8th Pauri, Guru Sahib established that listening removes fear, suffering, and spiritual ignorance. In the 9th Pauri, he further explains that through true and deep listening, one attains insight into sacred knowledge and the deeper realities of existence. The primary commentary for this explanation is drawn from the Faridkoti Teeka and supplemented where necessary or appropriate by Professor Sahib Singh's Teeka and Dr. Maneshwar S Chahal's book on the Japji Sahib. Let us recite this together. Suniai Isar Varma Indra. Suniai Mukh Salahan Mand. Suniai Jog Jugat Tan Ped. Suniai Satsat Simrat Ved. Nanak Bhakta Sada Vikas. Suniai Dukh Pap Ka Nas. Waheguru. Suniai Isar Varma Indra. We'll be breaking it down by word meanings and then slowly go into the complete explanation of each line and the message that is being given by Guru Nanak in this poem. Suniai, through deep listening and contemplation. Isar. Isar is Shiva, the Lord Shiva. Brahma is Brahma, the Creator. And Ind is Indra, Lord of the heavens. The Faridkoti Teeka explains that Shiva, Brahma and Indra are referenced here because within the Indic spiritual tradition, these three figures represent the highest station of knowledge, creation and sovereignty respectively. Shiva, Lord Shiva is associated with deep meditative wisdom and the dissolution of ignorance. Brahma is associated with the knowledge of creation and the sacred arts. Indra is the Lord of the heavens, representing authority and cosmic governance. The Teeka clarifies that Guru Nanak Sahib is not directing veneration towards these figures. Rather, he is establishing a point of reference. These are the beings whose wisdom, stature are regarded as supreme within the religious imagination of that time. The Guru's teaching is that very wisdom attributed to such exalted beings flows from one source and only one, and that is the divine word. And that word is accessible to any soul who listens with serenity, sincerity, and humility. The Teeka emphasizes the word Suniai. It is not birth, caste, or scholarly training that grants access to this wisdom. It is listening. Listening deeply, with patience and contemplation. Professor Sahib Singh reinforces that this is not a theological endorsement of these deities, but a pedagogical device, using the recognized symbols of wisdom to make the point that true knowledge comes through the Shabad, the divine word. Dr. Chahal notes that the line points to universality. The divine wisdom is not the exclusive possession of any tradition or figure, but flows freely to all who genuinely listen or are graced to listen. If even the beings considered most wise and powerful by the human tradition derive their understanding from the divine word, so then no one person, regardless of their learning or station, has any ground for spiritual pride, because everything is coming from one source. And equally, No person, regardless of their simplicity or ordinariness, is excluded from the same wisdom. The door of Suniai is open to all. So listening is not a virtue that is given to some. Listening is a virtue that is with everyone. It is a matter of using it. It's sincerity. Line 2. Suniya mukh salahan. Suniye through listening. Mukh is mouth, speech. Salahan is the praise, commendation. Man is lowly, the simple, or the ones with lesser standing or knowledge. Faridkoti Teeka gives particular attention to the word man. In classical usage, man refers to the one considered low in standing, whether by birth, education, conduct, social circumstances, or what he possesses as not being available. The Teeka explains that Guru Sahib is making a striking statement here. Even such a person with low stature or low caste, through the practice of Suniai, becomes praiseworthy. Mukh Salah. Their very mouth, their speech becomes an object of commendation. The Teeka elaborates that the listening to the divine word works as a genuine transformation on a person. It is not cosmetic. It reshapes the inner landscape, the way a person thinks, speaks, and conducts themselves. The mouth that once uttered words of ignorance, complaint, or falsehood begins to speak with clarity, gentleness, and truth. This transformation is not achieved through social refinement or education, but through purifying, listening, and influence of contemplation. Professor Sahib Singh notes that the contrast between the man and Salahan is still liberated. Guru Sahib is emphasizing the magnitude of transformation that listening can bring about. No matter where you are in the world, no matter where your education is, no matter how low in the society you are, you can transform internally. And Dr. Chahal points out that speech is specifically mentioned because speech is the outward expression of inner character. When the inner life is transformed through listening, it becomes visible in how a person speaks. The teaching here carries a message of profound dignity. No person is beyond the reach of spiritual transformation. The one regarded as lowly by the world is not lowly in the eyes of the divine. Through Suniai, deep listening, they rise. Their character is refined. Their word carries weight. The word itself takes notice. So they become informed about creation. Suniai, Jog, Jugat, Tanpet. Line 3. Suniai, through deep listening. Jog, a spiritual union. Jugat is method, discipline, the correct way. Tanpet, the mysteries or the secrets of this body that we possess, in which our soul resides. The Faridkoti Teeka explains Jog Jugat as the correct method or discipline by which a seeker pursues union with the divine. This is not mere a physical practice. It encompasses the full range of inner discipline, controlling the mind, directing attention inwards, restraining the ego, the aligning self within the divine will. Tanpet, according to the Teeka, refers to the deeper mysteries of the human body, understood not only in physical terms, but in the sense of a subtle body, the inner channels of energy, and the awareness that yogic and spiritual traditions have long spoken about. The Teeka clarifies that the knowledge of these things does not come through external instructions alone. It comes through Suniai, through the sincere and sustained practice of listening to the divine word. The one who listens deeply begins to understand the nature of their own inner being in a way that no amount of mere intellectual study can produce. Sagal taram achta gurgyan indra dirta khat karam sat rehta. So the knowledge or intellectual knowledge is only in the mind, but the spiritual knowledge is the soul. Professor Sahib Singh emphasizes that Jugat here means the right way, not just any method, but the appropriate and true path suited to the seeker's inner condition. Dr. Chahal notes that Tanped suggests that human body itself is a site of spiritual knowledge, as the soul, which is the direct connection of us to the divine, resides in this body. And that listening unlocks what is already present within. And this line addresses a very practical concern. Many sincere seekers struggle not for lack of effort, but for the lack of right understanding. They engage in spiritual practice without truly grasping its inner purpose. Guru Nanak Sahib teaches that this understanding, the knowledge of how to walk the spiritual path correctly and what lies within the human form, is revealed through listening. Before technique, there must be receptivity, bowing the head in front of this knowledge, the divine knowledge. Listen. Suniai, Sasat, Simrat, Ved. Line 4. Suniai, listening deeply. Sasas, the Shastras, the classical texts of knowledge and the law. Simrat, Simritis, texts of remembered traditions and moral conduct. Ved, the Vedas, the most ancient and revered scriptures. The Faridkoti Teeka here draws attention to the comprehensive scope of Guru Sahib's statement. The Shastras, Smritis, and the Vedas together represent the full breadth of sacred spiritual tradition known to the people of that time. The Teeka explains that each of these bodies of literature contain vast knowledge, philosophical, ethical, ritual, and metaphysical. Yet Guru Sahib's point is precise. The inner essence of all this knowledge becomes truly comprehensible only through Suniai. The Teeka distinguishes between padai, which is reading, padna, or reciting, and Suniai, the deep listening. One may recite the entire scripture from memory and yet remain untouched by their meaning. The one who listens with a receptive heart, open mind, however, becomes what scriptures truly are and understands that what is pointing towards. The Teeka notes that this is not a dismissal of scripture. It is a teaching about the correct relationship to the scripture. The outer text must be met with the inner receptivity for its wisdom. Let it take root. And Professor Sahib Singh confirms that the Guru Sahib is not diminishing the value of these texts, but it is clarifying that what is required for their wisdom to be generally received. Suniai. And Dr. Chahal observes that by listening to the Shastras, Simritis, and Vedas together, Guru Sahib is making an inclusive and universal statement. No tradition is beyond the reach of this principle. In Guru Nanak Sahib's time, access to scriptures or the knowledge about the scripture was often restricted by the caste and the social position. The Brahmins held the authority over the Vedas. The Guru's teachings cuts through all such barriers. The essence of all sacred knowledge is not locked within any text or any class of people. It is available to any soul who cultivates the inner quality of listening. This is democratization of spiritual wisdom, rooted not in the social reform alone, but in the deepest understanding of how divine knowledge is received. Nanak Bhakta Sada Vikas. Nanak, Guru Nanak, Bhakta, the devotees, Sada, always at all the times, Vikas, becoming, inner radiance, sustained spiritual joy and bliss. The Faridkoti Teeka explains Vikas as the state of inner blossoming, like a flower, like the lotus that has fully opened. It is not the excitement of a passing emotional experience. It is a settled, enduring condition of inner self. The Teeka notes that word Sada, always, the devotees who have cultivated the practice of Suniai do not experience joy only in a moment of formal worship or in favorable circumstances. Their inner state is one of continuous blossoming, a divine connection. The Teeka connects this to the cumulative effects of the entire body, or the verse. When wisdom is received, character is transformed, path is understood, and scripture is unlocked. The nature fruit is this steady inner joy, because the flowering of a life lived in alignment with the divine word. This line serves as a pivot of the body. The first 4 lines describe what listening gives rise to: wisdom, character, method, spiritual understanding. The 5th line names the inner condition that results: a steady, unshakable blossoming. The devotee does not merely know more, they have become more rooted, more peaceful, and radiant. Suniye, Dukh Paap Ka Nas. That's line 6. Dukh, suffering, pain. Paap, sinful tendencies, actions arising from ignorance. Nas, destruction, dissolution. It is in these final lines the Teeka explains that Dukh and Paap are here understood together, not merely as outward suffering and external wrongdoing, but as inner condition that gives rise to them. Paap, in the Teeka's treatment, refers to the tendencies rooted in home, ego-centeredness, that led a person to act in ways contrary to the divine will. Dukh is the suffering that inevitably follows from living in that condition of separation from the divine. Through Suniai, these root tendencies are dissolved. The Teeka is careful to note that the dissolution is not instant or magical. It is a gradual change which results from this sustained listening. As the consciousness becomes increasingly aligned with the divine truth, the ground in which Paap and Dukh take root becomes less fertile, and ignorance weakens. The ego loses its grip. Suffering, having lost its inner cause, begins to dissolve. Professor Sahib Singh notes that Nas, the dissolution, is a strong word. It suggests not merely a reduction, but a fundamental removal of inner conditions that produce suffering. Dr. Chahal points out the structural parallel with the closing line of the 8th body. suggesting that Guru Sahib is building a cumulative teaching across these bodies, each one depending on understanding of what Suniai accomplishes. The closing of this body returns to the same assurance with which the previous body closed, not by accident but by design. Guru Nanak Sahib is impressing upon the listener that this is not peripheral teaching. The dissolution of suffering and sinful tendencies through listening is a central pillar of spiritual path as he is laying it out. In the ninth body, Guru Nanak Sahib presents a systematic and comprehensive account of what true listening accomplishes. Drawing on the commentaries from the Faridkoti Teeka, we can see that each line addresses a specific dimension of spiritual life. The attainment of wisdom, the transformation of the character, the correct understanding of spiritual matter, the unlocking of spiritual sense, the establishment of enduring inner joy, and the dissolution of suffering and its causes. Divine wisdom is not secured through birth, scholarship, caste, or performing rituals. It flows to the one who listens humbly, attentively, and with a heart of openness. I thank you for listening to this, and I hope it brought some meaning. And it would be great if you leave your comments in the comment sections. I will reflect on those, contemplate on those, and try to address those. And we will continue with the 10th body in the next session. Thank you once again for listening. Waheguru Ji ka Khalsa, Shri Waheguru Ji ki Fateh.